Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rokah Kodash, to honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the Akim wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Another video for the Spirit. All right, in this one, we're going to be dealing with Gad, all right, or Gad and Reuben, if you will, in the so-called Indian boarding schools, and a little bit of how, just dealing with how Esau, Edom, conquered them, took them over and gave them a whole new narrative to believe in, which he's done that to everybody. That's the MO of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And the reason why I'm dealing with this, I was driving today and I happened to pass up a church, and I thought that this church was, I thought it was maybe a Arab church or a East Indian, Elamite church. And I look into it and come to find out it's a church based off of a Gadite, coon woman, if you will. All right, so let me show y'all what I'm talking about. This will be the second half of the video, really. The the Indian schools. All right, let me come over here. Right here, actually. Katira Takakwita. All right. So, I'm driving, I'm rolling. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to do, actually. I was rolling and I happened to pass up a church called St. Katira Takakwita Catholic Church. So it's whatever, right? So I'm like, who the fuck is St. Katira? I'm like, that sounds like some East Indian, person. So I look it up, and right here we go to Wiki. You see her picture. It says Katira Takakwita, given the name Takakwita, baptized as Catherine and informally known as Lily of the Mohawks, is a Catholic saint and virgin who was an Algonquin Mohawk. So she was born in 1656 New York and died in 1680. Damn, she ain't had no long life at all. All right, so this is your brother Malak from GMS Detroit with another video. All right, I don't know how true it is if she's a virgin or not. It says born. Let's see. It says she contracted smallpox in an epidemic. Her family died and her face was scarred. Oh, okay. It says she converted to, so I just hopped in the middle. I'm right around here. She converted to Catholicism at age 19 when she was baptized and given the Christian name Kateri in honor of Catherine of Siena. Refusing to marry, she left her village and moved for the remaining 5 years of her life. Wow, yeah, so Shorty died at what, 24? She croaked out at 24? It says life to the Jesuit mission village of Kanawake, south of Montreal, on the St. Lawrence River in New France, now Canada. All right, and then this goes to show you Esau Edom, when he came over here, all right, he came over here on a mission. He didn't come over here looking for freedom to get it. No, he came here to kill. And if he could avoid killing you, he'd just simply brainwash you, which he did to many Gadites. All right, many Gadites and not so many Reubenites. All right, let's go to that real quick in Genesis. There ain't no goddamn reason why no church should be standing named after this girl, because she was just that, a confused girl who betrayed her people, who left her people. She could have used her womb to birth her people. But what did she do? Man, come on, man. Hey, Genesis 49, real quick, real short verse, right? Genesis 49 and 19. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. All right, how was Gad overcome? By way of the cavalry, by way of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, pulling out weapons and killing them by force, making them move, all right, making them abandon their traditions and adopt a new way of life. And it says what? But he shall overcome at the last. And we know, that's not till the end times that we're approaching. So we're mainly dealing with the first part, the fact that it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him. Now, when Esau, let me just get this out of Psalms. See, this is the trick of the devil. He'll convert you to, and of course, those of you that know, they weren't being taught the truth the Bible as we understand it. They were being given a whitewashed version of the Bible and of so-called Christianity, if you will. All right, Psalms 55 and 17. This is how Esau came. Psalms 55 and 20. It says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. So he came over here under the guise of, being peaceful. We just want to settle on land. We're pilgrims. We've come from so far away, And what did he do? What did he do? Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All right. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right. In that article, it made mention of the fact that her family died of smallpox. Who brought smallpox to her people? Was Gad and Reuben dealing with that before these dirty crackers showed up? No. They came talking a good one. They came under the guise of peace. They came under the guise of settlers and pilgrims. Then quite literally swords got to flying. That's how what's the fucker's name? One of the guy who Cortez. For those of you who know the history on Cortez, you know what? I'm gonna just pull up a picture real quick. Yeah, that's why I wanted to double check it. I was about to say Mayan, but it was the Aztec. Yep, Hernan Cortez. This son of a bitch. It says Hernan Cortez, long ass name. It says was a Spanish conquistador, a conqueror, who led. So not Spanish as in Hispanic, as in our brothers and sisters, but the actual Edomites from Spain. It says who led an expedition that caused the fall of the Aztec Empire and brought large portions of what is now mainland Mexico under the rule of the King of Castile in the early 1600s. That's right there, a real quick little biography. This motherfucker caused the downfall of the Aztec Empire, literally, which resulted in Montezuma, if I remember correctly, being stoned by his own people. Just because this devil showed up, I'm just bringing him up. We're not going to dive into him like that. I just wanted to, familiarize yourself with this piece of shit, Cortez. These devils showed up and caused the downfall of, Northern Kingdom empires over here. And that was prophecy. This is how they were overcome. All right. They came pretending to be peaceful. And Cortez himself, actually, he came pretending to be peaceful. And when he saw all the potential for riches over here, he started being a demon. All right, this is a part of that troop that overcame. Armor, swords and shield and all, and horses and whatnot, ready to kill. All right, so let's come back to the other girl, Kateri. I want to look into how she died. They made a saint out of this girl. Where's that at in the scriptures? Make saints out of coons. Says she took a vow of perpetual virginity upon her death at age of 24. Witnesses said that her scars vanished minutes later and her face appeared radiant and beautiful, full of shit. All right, it says known for her virtue and chastity and mortification of the flesh, as well as being shunned by some of her tribe for her religious conversion to Catholicism. She is the 4th Native American to be venerated in the Catholic Church. Wow, and so she should have been shunned. And so she's the 4th, Gadite who they made a saint, if you will. All right, and that's a damn shame, man. She should be. Our people see, Gad and Reuben and them Northern Kingdom. Y'all wasn't ready for this devil, man. Y'all didn't know. Y'all just had to fulfill prophecy. But that shit's fucked up. Let me see. I want to see. Okay, her death. It says around Holy Week of 1680, friends noticed that Tekakwitha's health was failing. When people knew she had but a few hours left, villages gathered together. It's not saying what. Maybe of smallpox? Okay. I'm guessing... Yeah, it doesn't necessarily say. So the Lord just was pulling the spirit out of her punk ass, man. Went up and... She was probably trying to slide up under John Smith. Bitch, I'm talking about some fucking virgin, man. Bitch, please. Alright, so... I didn't want to... I wasn't going to spend all night on this. But this is what sparked it, right? And then, this is something a bit new to me. We know that, of course, certain Jake would have converted, but I had no idea that they was taking Gadites and making them saints. But this makes all the sense in the world, so that they could influence more Jake to turn over, right? All right, so now let's go to the boarding schools right quick. All right, hey, right here, and then this is just one that came to mind because, I wasn't there. But one thing that I know that I can already perceive that would have happened, she saw them devils come, she saw them talking that bullshit, and what happened? Proverbs 3:31, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. All right, and this is something for us, y'all. The times, when they come with this mark threatening us with like, look, basically take it or die, we can't, converting and giving yourself over to this man's system by way of allowing him to put that mark in you, which is the chip, that is not going to be an escape from punishment. You can't choose his path. We're supposed to follow Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and what I'm perceiving through the spirit, she chose that Catholic shit because it made her life easier. All right, let's keep it a whole buck. She saw her people starving, getting killed, going through hell, and she said, you know what, it might not be a half-bath idea. They got to talking about that white, sweet baby butt cheeks Jesus with the little angel wings that floats and plays the fucking mini harp. And she said, you know what, I think it would be cool if I didn't have to, stay in poverty. Let me slide up on Catholicism, man. Keep it real. That's what that little bitch did. I'm disrespecting her. I don't give a shit. She betrayed her people, and she was rightfully son. And we can't have that mindset of wanting to forsake our integrity so we can live a little while longer. And matter of fact, we'll get that out of 2nd Maccabees real quick. All right. Yep. 2nd Maccabees 6:24. So y'all should already be familiar with the story. The old man in 2nd Maccabees, the 6th chapter, who, they were trying to confine him to eat swine's flesh. And he chose rather to die than to eat that shit. How much less convert to being a fucking Hellenist? All right? What we believe is that serious, y'all. You got to be ready to die for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, does that mean we're out here reckless with our life force? No, of course not. But quite literally, if you were to get kidnapped at any given point in time, and these mother effers are telling you, look, completely forsake Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, do this, that, and the third, you have to be resolved in your spirit to go to the fucking grave for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because death ain't nothing. The kingdom is promised to us. We'll be resurrected. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. 2nd Maccabees 6:24. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, which is 90, were now gone to exchange religion. And so they, through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me and get a stain to mine old age and make it abominable. And that's what she did, Tikak Witha. She got a stain to her name, man. That punk ass little church. The Lord gonna burn that little that little damn church, man. I looked over and seen that. I'm sitting there, I'm at work, I'm going past. I looked over, I'm like, who the fuck is a Takiri? So I decided to look it up, through the spirit. And she wanted to live a little while longer. And ain't that something? The Lord cut her punk ass life short. She had 5 years in that baby girl. You was doing all right with the 19 as a Gadite, as a Native American. The Lord was letting you live, in which, they was bugged out. They wasn't following Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai perfectly. But the Lord gave her more life, 19 years of life, as just a Native American compared to 5 as a fucking Catholic, man. How about that? That wasn't by no mistake neither. The Lord killed her ass for going to that shit. All right? So we can't leave an abominable stain to the fellow brothers and sisters, when it's crackdown time out here. All right, let me get back to that boarding school stuff. All right, so now this is a pretty famous boarding school, actually. Carlisle Indian Industrial School. And this wasn't one of the very first ones, but this is, a very influential one. It says United States Indian Industrial School in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, generally known as Carlisle Indian Industrial School, was the flagship Indian boarding school in the United States from 18 1879 through 1918. You know, so they had to stop it when World War I popped off. But you click on it, right? It says, let me see, just a real quick summary on it. We ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time here. But they indoctrinated a shit ton of, you know, young Gadite Jake, if you will. Northern Kingdom. It says founded in 1879 under U.S. governmental authority by Lieutenant Richard Henry Pratt. And we're going to look into this guy because he's going to do something that is pretty significant as well, actually. It says Carlisle was the early federally funded off-reservation Indian boarding school initiated by the U.S. government. This was similar to Choctaw Academy in Scott County, Kentucky. So this was one of the early ones that instead of doing a school on the reservation, they did it off the reservation. So now what? Now the little Gadites, they don't have no semblance, you know, no resemblance of their heritage, completely far and pulled off away from their people. All right. You have the phrase here as he's gonna state. Let me bust his turn. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm about to stop moving so I can read better. All right. It says, where are we at? Okay, yeah. It says, founded by U.S. government. So, like, okay, it says, was initiated by Choctaw leaders and then funded by the United States government through the 1819 Civilization Act. In his own words, Pratt's motto was, kill the Indian, save the man. So this was the fucker who came up with that phrase. And another, something else as well. It says a mentality which was then applied to cultural assimilation efforts of the larger American Indian boarding school system. Pratt wrote that he believed that the Native Americans were equal to European Americans and that the school worked to immerse students into mainstream Euro-American culture, believing that they might thus be able to advance and thrive in the dominant society and be leaders to their people. You know, a bunch of bullshit, all right? Yeah, you know, come in, make them forget everything that they know, can't speak their language, beat them, all that shit. And, you know, if you were to go through all this, here, just real quick, it says what, from 1879 to 1918, says more than 10,000 Native American children from 140 tribes attended that school, y'all. You know, so hey, this fucker, you know, he got blood on his hands. You know, them kids would have been getting, man, what, you know, touched, you know, abused, used, you know, hey, y'all know, this is Esau Edom we dealing with. He's not an upright guy. This fucker's a demon. You know, matter of fact, you jump down, right? I'm highlighting it so y'all can see it. It says Carlisle was created with the explicit goal of assimilating Native Americans into mainstream Euro-American culture. The goal of acculturation was to be accomplished by the total immersion in the white man's world. Pratt founded Carlisle to immerse Native American children in mainstream culture and teach them English, new skills, and customs. Pratt's slogan was to civilize the Indian, get him into civilization. To keep him civilized, let him stay. It says Pratt's approach was harsh, but an alternative to the commonly held goal of extermination of the Native Americans. A positive outcome of a Carlisle education was the students' increased multilingualism. You know, so you know, they said, okay, you know what, we'll stop killing y'all directly. We'll just fucking assimilate you. We'll just brainwash you. You know, and there's one video I did some time ago. It was over a year ago. There was one guy. He was not young. He's older. He's like at least in the 60s now. He was basically giving his testimony of how, you know, he was abused in them schools. You know, he was separated, you know, from his brother, if I remember correctly. You know, he was crying, y'all. I might have to do a whole nother video on that. He was fucking crying. He said, I couldn't protect my brother, and he couldn't. You know, you got grown adults taking you, and you can't even understand what they're saying. They're fucking slapping the piss out of you, you know, making you stand, putting funny clothes on you. All right? This devil has blood to pay for, and scripturally, this is the man who goes around doing this. Who is going around doing this on planet Earth? The Hamites, the Africans have not gone around the planet Earth saying, we need to make this an African man's world. All right, who's been doing that? Edom. He just said it. Make it a white man's world. Literally. Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, Yea also, because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, which he has done. Gathered and snatched up everybody, man. Ain't nobody safe from the devil. He called this bitch a white man's world. That's crazy, you know. Just blatant with it, huh? All right. Okay, right here. Just to give more proof of how they were, you know, doing them. It says, all children who attended Carlisle were subjected to militaristic regimentation and disciplines, such as cutting of their hair, changing their dress, diets, names, and learning unfamiliar conceptions of space and time. They were also forced to let go of their cultural gender roles and assimilate to what white men believed they should do in society. Native women traditionally held important political, social, and economic power within their communities, as most Native cultures promoted gender equality, and this was disrupted at Carlisle. And, you know, so that part, you know, Gab was going off right there, but this whole, you know, these parts showing you Esau came and flipped, you know, their world completely upside down. And keep in mind, this wasn't the first school. This is just one of the very prolific ones. This one was known for, you know, going harder than the paint, if you will. You know, going harder than the paint. You know, what the fuck you think? You know, type ordeal, if you will. Hey, you know, we got something for you, E. Now let me get so we gonna, you know, you could fuck around and get lost in this article, but let's go click on that guy, the guy Pratt, right? Richard Henry Pratt, this son of a bitch. And I want to bring out something as well from this son of a bitch. Yeah, right here in his little biography. I'm gonna just start right here, where it says he is. Yeah, it's like y'all. This nigga just pulled out. I'm about to slide in there. I was waiting for this motherfucking parking spot. All right, this guy, some Richard Henry Pratt. You know, he has a similar. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the actor, you know, the nigga who play Star-Lord. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe his parents named him off this motherfucker. All right, you know, these devils, like, you know, regardless, I don't know if that actor's a Jake or not. You know, that's up in there. I don't give a fuck. But this devil right here, if you already looking at it, he's famous for doing what? It says he is associated with the first recorded use of the word racism, which he used in 1902 to criticize racial segregation. All right, Pratt is also known for using the phrase "kill the Indian, save the man." All right, in reference to the ethos of the Carlisle Indian School, industrial school, and informal efforts to, okay, blah, blah, blah. You know, so right there, this is one of the first guys to use the term racism. All right, so here, ain't this some shit? This devil then took a group of people, you know, completely made them change their way of life. And he's talking about racial segregation. You know, just the devil. This is that BS, y'all. Software. They speak as if they're good guys, as if they care about you. And as you walk an inch closer to them, they stick a fucking dagger in your neck. What you did to them was so-called racist. You made them change their race, quite literally. Quite literally. You know. So the, you know, just a devil in all his glory. With his punk ass top hat and his punk ass, you know them type of clothes they used to wear. You know, that nigga died at 83. He lived a long devil life. 1840 and 1924. God damn it, lived a long, old dusty devil life. All right, but I just thought that was interesting. You know, he's the first recorded user of the word racism, while he himself was stripping people of their heritage. All right, that's E for you. You can't make this shit up. Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. All right, and I was bringing out both these characters, you know, to show you that this is how. These are some of the ways that troop overcame. All right, now primarily and quite literally by way of warfare, by literally killing Gad and Reuben in the northern kingdom, right? But he also fucked over their heads, which is why you have a lot of them still to this day bugged out, especially, the so-called Hispanic tribes. A lot of them, this is deep rooted brainwashing and trauma, y'all. They got sent to, boot camps for this shit. Brainwash their ass, man. So Esau has a lot to pay for. We're gonna have to undo what he has done, and we're not gonna send nobody to no school. We're just gonna take heads off shoulders. All right. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all Great Akim Akwath, learning, teaching, truth, and sincerity. Shalom.